What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another Pay-Per-Viewpoint edition of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. This is the WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament post-show, where we're going to be recapping what just transpired on the show, giving our thoughts about everything that happened, and so on and so forth. But before we get started, let me introduce you who the panel is. It's going to be talking tonight. I am your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me on the call, all the way from across the pond, which is very fitting, Sean Walker.
Well, I had to come back and prove that the UK is superior in every way, and by far we are.
I would disagree with that, but hey, we kicked your ass in the old war.
No, we saved your ass in the World War. What are you on about?
You remember that whole Simpsons thing? It's like, yeah, well, we saved your ass in World War II. Yeah, well, we saved your ass in World War III. He's like, yeah, we got a point there. Hugh, what a great character. All right,
yeah,
enough Simpsons
bring it
talk.
back.
Should do a Simpsons show at some point. Just talk about the Simpsons for 2 hours or whatever. But that's not what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about the tournament. This was WWE's attempt to not only get this whole United Kingdom Championship started, but to potentially also start doing a weekly show. They mentioned that a little bit ahead of time. Doesn't seem like that might not necessarily happen based off of a poll that they put up where most people were like, I didn't watch this shit. But they should have. It was actually a pretty decent tournament. I think some things were a little bit problematic, and I think that the presentation could have been a little bit better, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. And if we start diving into the more specific details and stuff like that in a minute or so, what would you say is your overall impression of the tournament?
I really liked it. If I had to give it out of a score of 1 to 10, I would give it an 8.5.
I don't know if I'd go that high for it. I liked the Cruiserweight Classic better, but I mean, it's a supplemental thing on the network. Like, you kind of can't really complain that you're just getting more wrestling. We didn't have a whole lot of storyline stuff here. We didn't get bogged down with promos. We didn't have stupid comedy segments or whatever. So the people that want more wrestling on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, whatever, you can't complain if they give you something that's mostly all wrestling. You know what I mean?
And I think it was a breath of fresh air, to be honest. Just having plain old-fashioned wrestling.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to just do that. Wipe the slate clean a little bit.
Granted, somebody did post that they wanted some dude to come out as a chimney sweep, Tony.
I do still back up that idea that I wish there were more characters, because going into this, I didn't know a single one of them. I had heard, I knew Danny Burch, just very vaguely from NXT. And I had heard of a couple of names just in passing, like somebody had mentioned H.C. Dyer one time, and way in the past, and it was like, okay, well, I thought that was just some dude, that kind of a thing. I've heard about Trent Seven. I had heard about Mark Andrews just a little bit, but going into this, I was like, you know what? It's some guy versus some guy. And then the next round is some guy versus some guy. If they would have had some different characters, I think it would have been easier to distinguish some of these, because looking at the list right now, I honestly can't remember who Roy Johnson is.
Roy Johnson was the only black guy in the tournament.
Oh, the wavy thing?
Mm-hmm. Wavy.
What's that supposed to mean anyway?
I have no idea, but it's some sort of Jamaican talk. I'm not Jamaican. I'm Welsh.
Between the wavy thing and between the way that kids talk nowadays, I feel like such an old man. It's like, I don't understand this lingo. What do you mean something's on fleek? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Kind of shit. But there were a lot of things that actually just fell on deaf ears for me. Like, they'd show somebody in the crowd and it'd be like, the legendary Rich Williams or something, and I'd be like, huh? Did you know these guys that they were talking about?
I knew Finlay.
Oh, yeah, Finlay I knew. I knew about Brookside from, the Performance Center. Obviously, we know Regal and Triple H and shit, but
Darren Fletcher I knew, because I watched the soccer.
No idea who that was. And the guy next to him, no idea who that was.
No idea who the guy next to him was. And when Michael Cole was trying to talk about the fucking Blue Peter on BBC, what a fucking idiot.
Is that the guy with the pins?
That was the guy with the pins, yeah.
What is that?
CBTV. Right, Blue Peter, right? Blue Peter is a kid show on the CBBC network, right? Which, if you're about 7 to 8, right, it's like how you would get your news.
So it's CBBC. He wasn't just saying that weird.
CBBC.
Like
No,
children's BBC?
it's children's broadcasting, British something.
I just assumed Cole was fucking it up because he was like, the CBBC.
Yeah, he fucked out a few times. He said, first of all, he said CBTV. I'm like, fuck's sake, Cole.
So it's a kid's show?
Yeah, Blue Peter's a kid show, yeah.
Why is he Blue Peter? Is this like some medical condition he has?
I have no idea. It's, back in the day, it was about, I don't know, it's just an intellectual TV show. It's just how kids get the news.
Oh, sort of like what you would see on like, well, I don't know, maybe but like a PBS type of thing where it's like, you got to learn a little bit, but it's all dumbed down for kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, okay. Well, there's at least more of a disconnect where it makes sense that I don't know that. Completely different country, and it's a kids show.
And the way Michael Cole pronounced West Brom, that was bad. West Bromwich Albion, Michael, not whatever the fuck you said.
What is it? West Bromwich?
West Bromwich Albion. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I have no idea what he said, but I have no idea. He's like, this is Darren Fletcher, the footballer who plays in midfield for West Brom. Something. Oh, I'm like, oh my god. Face palm. Just leave the British sayings to the British man that you got talking about the wrestling, Michael. Even though Nigel McGuinness was terrible. He was terrible tonight. He was on point last night, but tonight he was awful.
See, you know what? I think he was better the second day, but he really is not good.
No, he botched up a few things, didn't he?
I tried to write it off and say that he was just like, maybe it was nerves, maybe it was inexperience, but I mean, it wasn't doing it for me. I'm not some like apologist type of guy where I followed his career and I'm going to think that he's great no matter what or anything like that. I'm going to call it out on it. And maybe it's his voice. I mean, it's not that his accent got into the way, because we've heard accents before and it's fine. I just think that he's a little bit too soft-spoken. You know what I mean? He was kind of boring.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm one to talk, right? I'm not really the most enthusiastic podcaster in the game, but still, like, he seemed like when they would cut to him, like even like the video segments, and he would talk to Cole, it seemed like he was just not there. Like, he didn't have a whole lot going for him. He wasn't really enthusiastic about a whole lot of things. I don't know if that's just him. Maybe he was tired. Maybe, I don't know. Something was off about that. And if that was like a big build-up that they were going to get McGuinness, it's cool that they brought him in, but man, he just was not good.
Yeah, and plus he fucked up calling the Red Arrow.
Oh yeah, what did he call it again? He got a corkscrew, I think?
He called it a shooting star corkscrew something or other.
CBTV.
Michael Cole was like, the Red Arrow! The Red Arrow! It's like, yes, Michael! The Red Arrow.
You know, catch flack for whatever he's done in the past, but I still say Michael Cole's the best guy that they've got.
Oh yeah, by far. Everybody says that Jim Ross is the best. Fuck off. I would argue with anybody and say Michael Cole's the best they've had.
If you go back in time, I still say Jim Ross is the best, but I mean, Michael Cole's really, he's gotten to the point where he is the second best when it comes to that kind of stuff. And, you know, a lot of people like Mauro Ranallo. I think if Mauro would have been in this, it would have had more energy to it, but it would have been a little bit annoying. Like, I get tired of Mauro. So, you give it a choice. Would you rather have Mauro, or would you rather have Nigel, or would you rather replace Nigel with somebody else? Who would you think could have been a good fit there?
Which one is Mauro? He's the SmackDown guy, right?
The Mamma Mia, I'm going to yell everything.
Oh, I fucking hate that guy. Ugh. If I had my way, it would have been Michael Cole and Taz.
Everybody would have just been like, what do you know about Sam Gradwell? Oh, this guy's tough.
That's fucking funny. But no, I don't know. I would say if they had Corey Graves on the make it a 3-man instead of a 2-man, it would have been a little bit better. because that's what I'm used to at this point.
I think it could have been cool if Regal did it.
Oh yeah, Regal did NXT for a while, didn't he?
Yeah.
Commentating. Yeah.
I mean, he's not really in that game anymore. He was doing behind the scenes stuff, but it would have been kind of cool. I guess, though, in the grand scheme of things, it's like, well, they brought Nigel McGuinness into the company. He's got his fan base. He wasn't the worst ever or anything like that. He just wasn't really that good. So that didn't really detract from it too much. It's more so that they were missing a positive rather than they had a negative. Like, if you remove Nigel McGuinness from the equation, it's still a good tournament. It's not, oh man, it's so much better now or anything like that. So it's not really all that bad. I liked Andy Shepherd, the ring announcer. He's pretty good.
Oh man, he was class. He was on point.
Probably my number 2 guy in the company right now as far as ring announcing goes. Mike Rome's still number 1 to me. And I think the worst is probably still Andre DeMarco. Man, she is awful. But they're using Charlie Caruso a lot nowadays. They got her as a backstage interviewer this time around.
Mm-hmm. She's hot. She's got weird eyebrows though.
She's I'm slowly becoming a big fan of hers. Hopefully she'll get some decent votes in our Sexiest Superstars tournament, which we have that coming up a little bit soon. We've got Peyton Royce is going to do some well. We got our Smark Madness tournament coming up in March. We got a couple other tournaments following this tournament. So if you like the tournament ideas, stick to Smark Out Moment. One of the other things I should say that was lost in translation for me, I couldn't understand what the crowd was chanting a good portion of the time. What were they chanting with Tyler Bate? Were they just saying Tyler Bate?
Which one? The na 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 na. Tyler Bate.
They were singing that?
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue that they were singing that, and I like that song. That's all. Kingsman, man.
That's all they were chanting, dude. You heard what they were chanting to Jordan Devlin, right?
I don't remember what that one was.
Yeah, just a shit Finn Balor.
That's what they were chanting?
Just a shit Finn Balor. You're a shit Finn Balor. Pretty much.
It's so hard to, we have a rhythm in the United States. It's like, let's go something, clap, 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 clap. We're like, Undertaker. It's the same kind of shit. And when these other crowds, whether they're Canadian, from the UK, from China, Japan, whatever, when they start singing songs that I don't recognize and stuff, it just becomes and I'm like, what the fuck are they saying?
Hey, Jesus.
That was brilliant. That was probably my favorite thing in the entire tournament.
That was the chant of the tournament, yeah. I want to know.
If you'll be my God.
My God. Triple H highlighted it as well, didn't he? On his Twitter. That was fantastic. Did you see what he put on it?
No, what did he say?
The one where he goes, let's go, Jesus, Jesus sucks. He put that, and then he was like, now I've heard it all.
That for sure was one of the best parts, and it was thankfully during a match that wasn't really all that special. I mean, Saxon Huxley was just you could tell they put him out with Sam Gradwell, and I mentioned beforehand, I was saying Sam Gradwell looked like a typical indie guy to me and stuff. Saxon Huxley looked even more like an indie guy, and it was oh, Gradwell's clearly going to win this match. And then they start making fun of the Jesus thing and all that other kind of stuff. That saved that from being far more entertaining than the match itself.
Oh, it's fucking class.
There were some weird looking guys in this. Jordan Devlin, we were joking about this on the Mega Maniacs. I said he looked kind of like a dwarf a little bit, like a stretched out little person. His proportions are weird.
His head is too big for his body.
Yeah, that's throwing me off, man. And I think Wago referred to him as a stretched out sweater.
That's it, yeah.
But that kick, with that big gash on Danny Burch's the back of his head, that was pretty
sweet.
that
was pretty brutal, man. Fair play.
Awkward end of the match, though. It's kicked
the
out,
1, 2, 3. Didn't... Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, all right. This is when I showed my brother. My brother was like, all right, no, I'm interested, and we're going to watch this. It's like, don't fucking here we are. Because that was the match I first watched. I missed the Trent Seven and HC Dyer match. I forgot it was on. I was in the middle of playing Star Wars.
You didn't really miss all that much.
No, I was really looking forward to Trent Seven after Mr. Weagle was bigging him up.
You know,
kind of fell flat.
Yeah, that kind of is one of my disappointments. Trent Seven was somebody that a lot of people were saying could be the winner. I don't really think he was all that great.
He had a dad bod though. He was saggy in all the wrong places.
And maybe his gimmick is doing this whole like slow thing, but I don't like starting off a tournament of people that I don't know with a guy who's doing everything very slowly. That was like, I had very low energy going into it. I was very tired. This whole 3 p.m. start time for me threw me off completely. Because it's like, I do a lot of work throughout the night. And, you know, I'm not going to bed until like 11 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So it's like, I just went to sleep like 2 hours beforehand, you know? Woke up like an hour and a half of got that much sleep. I wake up and it's like the first guy that comes out's this, like you said, like the dad bod, and he's like very slowly rolling into the ring, and I'm like, oh god, like you pump up the energy a little bit here. The Cruiserweight Classic was like, we're gonna start with fucking fireworks and shit, like, you know.
It was the perfect time for me. I'm just throwing it out there. There needs to be more 8 p.m. wrestling.
There is plenty of 8 p.m. wrestling. 8 p.m. Standard Eastern Time.
No, 8 p.m. GMT, man.
That's something I've heard from every single person on this Mega Maniacs and stuff that is in the UK area. They're all like, oh, this time frame is so much better. And it's like, I can't imagine what you guys go through every time.
Oh, man, it's fucking brutal. Staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning just to watch fucking SmackDown and Raw is like, ugh.
Yeah. And then, you know, to do like podcasts afterward and stuff like that, it's impossible, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then you're staying up till like stupid o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Stupid o'clock. I'm aware of that time. It's usually when I'm starting to get a tiny bit tired.
Yep.
And quite a bit stupid.
Wake up. Yep.
So I'm looking at the list of some of the other people here. One thing I thought was funny, the first round, James Drake versus Joseph Connors. Could they pick two people that looked as much similar to each other as those two? It was like people wrestling a mirror.
That was the worst match for me. I did not like this match at all. Though the chant was pretty funny.
What was the chant during that one?
You got your whole face on your ass. You got your whole face on your ass. You got your whole face on your ass. Who
was that in reference to?
That was to the one who didn't win.
Oh, Drake?
Yeah, he had his face on his ass, Tony.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, on his tights, it was his face.
See, I would have picked up on that a little bit more if I would have understood the crowd. I was
go back and watch it.
Mumbling in the background for me, that's all I could tell.
Just go back and rewatch it, and you'll appreciate it.
Let's see what other stuff we have. Pete Dunne versus Roy Johnson. Johnson was the wavy guy. Yeah, Pete Dunne, man.
That was a surprise for me, because I didn't like Pete Dunne yesterday.
I didn't know anything about him, and I thought that he looked like a joke at first, but he ended up being one of the major stars. I mean, he got to the finals.
He came out wearing his Daniel Bryan colors. I was like, for fuck's sake, what a fucking idiot. And then he'd come out and he's like, oh, I'm the bruiserweight on this. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, bruiserweight, really? That's some sort of pun Tony would come up with.
And he wasn't even the most intimidating looking guy, too. That had to be Gradwell.
Oh, somebody posted something in the Mega Maniacs group earlier on that he's either A, a pretty ugly looking guy, or B, an ugly, good looking guy.
Nah, he's a pretty ugly guy.
He's a pretty ugly guy. He's somewhat pretty, but somewhat ugly.
I wouldn't even say somewhat pretty. I think Pete Dunne's pretty ugly.
I don't know. He's got pretty cool hair.
But hey, he could get it done in the ring, man. He was one of the better ones out of this whole tournament.
Pete Dunne could get it done in the ring.
That should be his finisher, the get it done.
Oh, what a finisher, though. The bitter end. Fucking fantastic. That's my finisher of the year, by the way.
Huh. I wouldn't go that far, but I do like how some of these guys had legit finishers instead of just using DDTs and shit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at a lot of the people in the Cruiserweight Classic. Some of them, of course, had their finishers. TJ Perkins had his, Kendrick had his, but some of them were just kind of like, oh, he won with a German suplex, and it's like, that ain't a fucking finisher. I know that's all Brock Lesnar does nowadays, but it's not a finisher.
No.
One of my biggest surprises here was Wolfgang. First
Oh,
off, I thought he would lose in the first round. Then I thought it was a guarantee he'd lose the next match. And then he ended up, getting to the semifinals.
Who did he verse in the first one? Tyson T-Bone. Who the fuck is he? What did he look like?
He was, he kind of looked like he had a lot of shit going on. He had, like, tattoos. He had, like, piercings and stuff.
Was he the gypsy?
Might be the guy that you were thinking of.
I'm Googling him. Hang on. Images. Ah, yeah. This is the gypsy bloke. I wanted him to win. I wanted Tyson T-Bone to win.
And I don't know anything about Tyson T-Bone, but when they had Wolfgang do that promo, I was just like, yeah, I don't want Wolfgang to win.
He's pretty agile for a fat man, though.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have taken him as far as they took him, but he proved me wrong a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if that's like a knock on Tyson T-Bone for him getting knocked out in the first round, or if it's just a matter of them really having a whole lot of confidence in Wolfgang, but they did bring him further into the tournament than Trent Seven, so it's probably more so that they like Wolfgang.
I think it's probably because he's Scottish, and he was the only Scottish bloke in there.
That's right, he was the only one, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's like why Mark Andrews got really far is because he was the only Welsh guy. So they got to appease the Welsh fans and the...
Well, Mark Andrews is probably my favorite out of the bunch.
Oh, yeah, damn it, fucking he needs to go on 205.
I would be totally fine with him just going straight to NXT, 205 Live, whatever. Like, just skip the whole UK show, just give me Mark Andrews as part of the... Same thing I'd be cool with Pete Dunne being in NXT. I think that he could fit there. I think Tyler Bate was a shock. I mean, he ended up winning the entire thing.
Tyler Bate, the 70s porn star.
He does have a weird mustache, doesn't he?
Oh man, the mustache, the hair, the fucking theme music. It's all scream 70 porn star to me. It was great. And there's no way he is 19 years old.
Well, he looked really tiny compared to a lot of these people, especially standing next to Wolfgang.
Tony, I looked tiny because the next door to Wolfgang.
How old? Not how old. How big is Wolfgang?
265 pounds.
He didn't look like he was like Big Show or anything.
I think that's what they said, 265.
Tyler Bate looked pretty small though. I think he's probably on the smaller end of things.
Tyler Bate versus Tucker was a really good match as well. That was my match last night.
Yeah, Tucker was a surprise too. I thought that he was going to potentially even win the match when it was happening. I was like,
what a super kick he's got though.
Tyler Bate is 5'7".
5'7". A shot.
Now I'm curious about some of these other guys. Pete Dunne is 5'11". Mark Andrews is 5'8". Curious what Wolfgang is. I'm going to have to look him up. So 5'7" for, what's his face? Tyler Bate. Wolfgang is only 5'11".
Bloody hell. A lot of short wrestlers. I think the only guy who was 6 foot was the black guy, Johnson.
Was he the tallest?
Yeah, I think he was the only guy who was above 6 foot.
Maybe that's what Wavy's supposed to be apart. Dan Maloney. Who was Dan Maloney?
Dan Maloney was the guy who wore black trousers and looked like a guy from Jersey Shore.
Oh, okay. That was the one that Wago said that he had trained with.
Ah, right.
Yeah, I mean, when they had Mark Andrews come out against him, it was like, all right, this Andrews guy's clearly going to go further.
Yep.
I was rooting for Andrews to win, though. I actually wanted him to take it.
So did I, but so did I. Nothing to do with the fact that Cardiff is only like 2 minutes down the road from me. But,
Now, have you ever seen him in TNA? Apparently he was in TNA as Mandrews. Yeah.
Fucking Mandrews.
Mandrews.
Oh, I gotta Google this.
Apparently that's the name that he went with in TNA, Mandrews, which is like, oh man, come on. He's 20. Oh, he's only 24. Okay. He's got a long career ahead of him. That's good.
University of Glamorgan. That's 3 minutes on the road for me. You even does remind me of Rockstar Spud. Fair play.
Man, if they would have brought him into the mix.
Oh,
is
he
there
was
anybody?
actually partners with Rockstar Spud.
Was there anybody that they didn't bring into here that you think could have been a part of it? Because they only had 16. I mean, they had 32 guys for the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah, I can throw a couple of names. Wade Barrett, Neville.
I thought when Neville came out and they did that special match, that exhibition.
I was hoping it was Wade Barrett. That'd be so great.
I was thinking that they were building up to that, man, and then Tommy End comes out, and I'm like,
who the fuck is Tommy End? That's why I said to my brother. My brother's like, I don't use it. Part of the NXT. That's why I was messaging you. I was like, who's this Tommy End guy?
Yeah, like, I'm not familiar with Tommy End either. I know people right now are listening to this going, "Oh my god, watch a fucking indie show," and it's like, no, watch an indie show.
Indie shows, that's the go-to. They're on telly. I like watching my wrestling on telly.
You know, it's a little bit weird too. They already announced that Tommy End's not going to use that name. He's going to be Aleister Black, I think, is his name. Yeah, they just changed his name, so it's going to be like, we present to you Tommy End. Then it's going to go, hey guys, remember Tommy End? Well, in NXT, he's Aleister Dark or Aleister Black or Blackwell or something like that. But
what a shit match as well, by the way.
You weren't a big fan of it?
No, it felt like a Raw match to me.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else in this match seemed like everything in this tournament seemed to be nice and fluid. You know, storytelling, whatever. And then this match was like, just finish already.
Well, it did follow one of the better matches of the night. I mean,
yeah, match of the year. Match of the year.
Well, we're not talking about Wolfgang Tyler Bate, but because it did follow that one directly. I'm talking about Pete Dunne versus Mark Andrews. My favorite match of the tournament by far.
Yeah, that's match of the year. My bad.
Yeah, I'm not going to put it in my list for match of the year yet.
Oh, I am. I put it up there. It's up there. 10 out of 10.
Who would you go? What would you go with for your second best match? Because I think that the finals is probably my number 2.
Second best match was in the first night, which was Tyler Bate and Tucker.
That was another good one too. That's probably my number 3.
And 3, I would have gone with Saxon Huxley and Sam Gradwell just because of the Jesus chants.
So going forward, do you want this to be its own weekly show, or is that overkill?
No. A weekly show, a 1-hour show on the network, call it UK Championship Wrestling, 8 p.m. on a Saturday, and I will watch.
I can tell you right now, if that is a weekly show, I ain't watching it. There's too much to watch. I can't do 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, an hour of 205 Live, a half hour of Talking Smack, an hour of NXT. I never watch Main Event, but if I did watch Main Event, that would be another thing. Then we've got these pay-per-view weeks where we've got 5-6 hours of those kind of shows. And then we've got the network programs, you know, if they bring back Breaking Ground, if they do a table for 3, or a podcast thing and all that. And then the UK thing too on top of that. I can't.
I'd be happy with it like if it was like every 2 weeks. I'd be all right.
Monthly special, maybe.
Monthly would be too long between shows. I would say. Although, if the ending is anything to go by, then I called the ending. I called the ending as soon as it happened.
Oh, I got that wrong. I thought it was going to be Andrews against Devlin.
I told my brother when when Dunn won, I was like, Dunn is going to come out and attack whoever wins the next match, and then whoever gets attacked is going to be injured for the final and win. Why?
When you watch wrestling enough, you start seeing that kind of stuff happening. It's kind of one of the disappointments, you know, when you're like, oh, I wonder if there's going to be a disqualification here. Then it's like the referee's like, oh, what the hell, you interfered, ding ding ding, and you're like, I know it.
When I was watching last night, right, if you were to tell me, right, pick 2 finals, like pick a finalist, I would have said it would have been Bate and Andrews. Those are my picks to win it for the final.
That would have been kind of interesting because they did pair up heel against heel and face against face a little bit here. Of course, they did in the Cruiserweight Classic too, so that's not too weird. But usually they try to go heel baby face, and that threw me off a little bit. I mean, when they had Gradwell versus Dunn, I was like, okay, this is a different direction. I thought that they were going to go with, like, I don't know, like, say Devlin versus Wolfgang, or you know what I mean, like that kind of a thing. And so that was a little bit strange, but I like it when they switch it up a little bit like that. It makes it a little bit less noticeable how things are going to go. And then they reach a point where, like you said, it's like, okay, well, if Pete Dunne attacks people, he's going to attack him. Oh, look at that, he attacked him. But it's fine, you know. If it would have ended with Pete Dunne winning, I think people would have had a little bit of a sour note.
I don't know, because the UK fans always prefer the heel, don't they?
Well, the UK is getting the cheers.
The UK is a heel country, I would say. I think we would have been fine with it. I would have been fine with it.
He'll win that title eventually. That's a guarantee. That they clearly value that dude a lot.
If it's an actual show. Who knows? This could be a one-off thing.
That's true.
Retire the belt now.
They could get to a point where they just do live events. Because they removed a little poll that they had put up. Caden posted it in the Mega Maniacs chat, where they asked people, what was your favorite match from round one? And it was like 90 votes for the one, 100 and something for the other, 300 votes for the other one, 3.5 thousand votes for didn't watch.
Yeah.
And that's like, man, if people aren't watching this, they're not going to give it its own show.
Oh, I don't know. Pete Dunne was trending worldwide.
Oh, he's Pete Dunne. He's like the one guy who stood out above everybody other than Tyler Bate.
And Andrews.
Andrews for a personal thing, but Pete Dunne, man, they made him a priority for sure.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to be going like, man, what was your biggest takeaway when it comes to this tournament? Oh, that fucking Dan Maloney guy, or like, you know. You got to love that James Drake.
It wouldn't surprise me if Pete Dunne and Bate and Andrews all get actual contracts from this.
Well, that's one good positive when it comes to this, is if they don't get their own TV show, they're going to bring some of these guys in for sure. You know, Trent Seven could be brought in. Devlin, I would assume, would be brought in. Now that Danny Burch has done a little bit more, maybe they're going to use him a little bit more. I think Gradwell they probably would sign. Pete Dunne for sure. Looks like they probably would bring Wolfgang into the mix. They valued him a lot more than I thought they would have. Andrews, Tyler Bate, you know. I wouldn't put too much stock into the idea that they would get some kind of a weekly show, though, right now. I think that they're going to try to look at this and kind of hold off a little bit.
And check the ratings to see how it did on the network and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, it's much better than Holy Foley. So if you're going to get rid of the show, just get rid of Holy Foley and give that half-hour slot to UK Championship Wrestling. Even if it's a half-hour show, I'd be fine with it.
You know, they could just do live event tours and film them. You know, they've been getting a lot of mileage out of the NXT shows that they've been doing. They took that, was it Melbourne, Australia, and the one in Osaka, Japan. They got 2 episodes of NXT out of that. So it's like, shit, just do tours in the UK and record them and then air them later. That doesn't have to be live. Live is going to be the biggest expense out of everything. So air the shows, you know what I mean? Just record them, air them. People in the UK can go see them live. People outside of the UK can watch them on the network. Why not?
Michael Cole will have a rest. Michael Cole's going to be fucked tomorrow. You know that, right?
Oh, he's going to be so tired.
He's going to be so jet lagged. It's going to be great.
We're going to get the Byron Saxton show.
I'll tune in just to watch Michael Cole tomorrow.
It'd be really good to see if he gets real irritated with Byron. Like, he's just irritable, you know, and Byron's just kind of like, oh, I love, like, puppies and rainbows, and he's just like, shut the fuck up. You know? Shut your goddamn trap.
Love being jet lagged. It's great.
Either that or we're going to get one of those Michael Cole episodes where he's just mumbling and stumbling all over the place the whole time, and he's just kind of like, I'm fucking tired, everybody. Like,
Or
Braun
it could be,
Strowman, what a
or it
guy.
could be polar opposite, and he could be just high on caffeine and sugar.
Oh, that'd be even better. If he's just sort of like, welcome everybody to Monday Night Raw. This is fucking great. I had 6 5-hour energies in the last 10 minutes. He starts doing the promo that Jim Ross used to do with Skittles, where he's like, Skittles, they're fruity, fruity, fruity. And they're like, we don't even have Skittles as a promoter anymore. And he's like, I don't fucking care, they're fruity. Like,
Oh, Christ. And then Triple H is going to be fucking heel as well. What come next week as well. Man.
is he making an appearance?
Yes.
Well, they are supposed to be potentially booting Foley, so who knows? I don't know. We'll have more on that when it comes to the Monday Night Raw live chat and stuff. But to wrap up the tournament, any other takeaways you want to mention?
Fans are good. I didn't like the arena.
Kind of reminded me of the old ECW arena.
Didn't like it. It felt like I know Blackpool is like used for ballroom, and that's where they like had it. It was in a big giant ballroom where like fucking you do dancing and shit.
Empress Ballroom, I think is what it was.
Yeah, I didn't like that setting. It just felt wrong. But once I got past that, it was pretty swank. I enjoyed it. The final, I don't get why they dimmed the lights for the final. That was a bit off-putting for me. But then that's production. But overall, as a wrestling fan, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really complain all that much. It's, I like pro wrestling, so if you put a bunch of pro wrestling in front of me, I'm going to enjoy it at least a little bit, I'm not too thrilled about it. It's not something that I would rave. Like the Cruiserweight Classic, I was telling people, man, that's like the best thing that's going right now. You got to watch it. If people missed this tournament, I'm not going to really tell them that they missed all that much, but at the same time, I do think we've got a couple good names in the mix now. We got Dunn, we got Bate, we got Andrews. So, overall, I think it's fine. I'm really curious to see where they take it in the future. I don't think that it's got the legs that a lot of people thought that it was going to have going forward. But if they give it its own show, you can always choose to watch it or not watch it. It's not like you are mandatorily having to, you know what I mean?
I can't wait for the women's tournament. That's going to be great.
I got a feeling the women's one's going to be better.
The UK women's tournament.
Well, they're not going to limit that to a specific region. So we're going to get some people that are from all different areas. I think it's going to be a little bit more like the Cruiserweight Classic was.
Oh. I wanted to see my bird wrestle.
Who?
I can't think of her name at the moment because I haven't got my phone. Hang on, bear with me. I'm going to go prove on my Instagram.
She might be in it, though. I mean, they're not going to not pick people from the UK just because they had this UK tournament.
Have they announced who's in it?
No, they haven't, but they've kind of already sort of put out some feelers about the Kimberly girl. There's Heidi Loveless, I think her name is. There's the one that used to be... Oh, God, what's her name in TNA? The really, really Rosie something or other, although she's got a completely different name now and she's lost weight. So she's actually, like, healthy instead of obese.
There's nothing
rumors of Deonna Purrazzo, who comes from my area.
Ooh, she fit?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Nice.
She was the one that was La Luchadora the first time. Or maybe even the second time, I don't know.
Well, on SmackDown. The Luchador.
Yeah, the one that Alexa Bliss beat, and then they had her dress up as La Luchadora. So she could be in that mix too. They can bring a couple of people from NXT. They can do...
there we go. I got her name now. I've discovered her.
Who is she?
Nadia Sapphire. There you go.
No idea who she is.
She is a Welsh wrestling woman.
Nadia Sapphire. Let's look her up real quick.
She's pretty sexy. She's pretty sexy for a thick gal.
wearing a pink top and a white skirt. In her first picture, it looks like.
Send me the link.
Never heard of her before.
No, Googling them.
Now, since there were rumors that this was going to be happening at the beginning of the year, and we got this tournament instead, so, I mean, maybe that's going to come around, like, post-WrestleMania time, I would be assuming. Maybe, like, SummerSlam or so. But that probably will be the next tournament that WWE is going to do. I can't imagine them doing another one in the meantime. That's just... They got too much on their plate. Road to WrestleMania, they got Fastlane, Elimination Chamber, the Hall of Fame, potentially the Slammy Awards. Way too much in the way.
Wow, Google images are not kind to this girl. She's so much hotter on Instagram.
Oh, who knows? Maybe she'll be one of those names.
Oh, fingers crossed.
So you said you'd give this an 8.5 out of a 10?
8.5 out of 10, yep. It's going to be the greatest non-pay-per-view event of the year. I can tell you now, it's going to be better than fucking Roadblock.
We might not even get a Roadblock this year.
No mercy then. It's going to be better than one of those shitty pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
Money in the Bank. Any of the bad ones.
It'll be better than Tribute to the Troops. We know that. That's never a good show. But that's not what it's supposed to be for, I'd probably go... I'd go lower than an 8.5, but I wouldn't go too much lower. I'd probably go 7. I think it was just solid. It threw me off about the time zone. It threw me off not knowing anybody, and I'm sure that would have been a big step forward if I would have known people involved in this, but
I think that's why I enjoyed it more. It's because it was a bunch of unknowns.
Yeah, that's another good thing, too, though, every once in a while. It's good to get just change of pace instead of going, okay, well, clearly Epico's not going to win this, or...
Clearly Roman Reigns is going to win everything.
Yeah. So we want to know what you guys have to say about this. Leave your comments below in the YouTube video. If you're listening to iTunes or Stitcher, just leave a comment on the website's post itself. And if you're on the Wrestling News or any elsewhere things, leave your comments below on whatever the according thing that you're listening to this at. I think that's it to just really round this out. So anything you want to plug?
Twitter.com/Shaughnessy2K37 Twitch.tv/Shaughnessy1989. Don't know when I'm going to be streaming because I am in between jobs at the moment.
You're a jobber, you should say.
Yeah, pretty much.
From my side of things, everybody just keep following at SmarkOutMoment on Twitter, or follow us on Facebook. Check out that contest that's going on right now where you can win one of the 3 different pops that are available. Andre the Giant, Undertaker, and John Cena. 3 big names going into the road to WrestleMania every year, even though Andre the Giant's just a memorial kind of capacity. But those 2 other ones could be winning some matches at the Royal Rumble coming up soon. This next episode of Smack Talk, or this next week, I should say, is going to be not only the usual hot tags and the Ask Him, but we're going to be doing another Sporkle quiz where I'm going to try to guess every single Royal Rumble entrant of all time. Guarantee I'm going to fail. And we're also going to do the mailbag. So if you have any questions you want to submit for the mailbag, go ahead and do that as soon as possible, and I will put those on the list. And we'll get around that probably Friday or so is when we're recording a lot of things lately now. So stay tuned for those kind of things. All you have to do for that is subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that little bell notification icon so that way you can know when we do post some new things to the channel. And keep checking smarkoutmoment.com for more things as well. And that's going to do me in for this episode as well as Sean. Thank you all for listening. As I mentioned before, this has been another Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out.